Sorry. There's
Yeah.
a lot of technical difficulties on our end at the start, but welcome to the Midnite Snak podcast regardless,
Yep.
where we have the goods to keep you up at night. Thank you for waiting patiently. With me today, as always, is Austin.
What up?
Justin's also here, but
He
I
is.
gave him the reins, and immediately when I gave him the reins, just everything went to shit. I don't know what it is.
Bad luck.
Second, I give someone just a little ounce of control, it's like everything goes to shit. I'm a bit of a control freak.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. Especially in the bedroom.
You know.
When we do our
Good start,
like
good start.
game streaming and stuff, when we make it, let's bleep out the cuss words to see if that will.
You know how long that
boost.
takes?
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
I'm doing all the fucking editing too.
because we cuss a lot.
we cuss a lot and we're getting demonetized and
We're not getting demonetized. We got age restricted,
We got
which
age
is
restricted.
different. We don't get monetized because we don't have enough subscribers. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my microphone.
that's-
Because
Eventually, it might be good to do that if we do get popular.
well, I was like thinking like every time you think of a cuss word, just go beep. Like I don't know, just
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, it is.
I
But if you like
removed-
tree-
I removed a lot of the C words that we did.
Oh, okay.
As far as the F words, I did not.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry about this.
yo,
I got it.
this is just a wonderful.
I know. We
What are
moved.
you
Phil didn't
trying
come
to?
out. He's trying to ear rape people. That's what he's trying to do.
He's trying to ear rape me.
Why so far back? I don't remember ever being that
What
far
is-
back.
Because I never did it above table. All right.
Oh,
I just didn't want it like super close to my mouth, you know. There we go.
that's what she said.
I'll just do it over to the right. Sorry, everybody. So today, this is the first title that we have that is similar to what we're going to be talking about today. Most of the time, the titles that I've been putting in completely unrelated to what we're talking about. But today, we decided there's nothing else to talk about other than the delivery stories we have
crazy.
over the years.
Just crazy delivery stories. Like I'll be doing some from DoorDash. I don't really have like crazy ones with Domino's yet. So
I do. So before we start, for those of you who haven't seen us before, my name's Brandon. I've been a delivery driver for 5 years at Domino's. I started in, I think, October of 2017. Austin has done DoorDash.
6 years. You've been doing it for 6.
I have not been doing it for 6.
I've
Count.
been a swim instructor for 7. You started pretty soon after me.
2017 to 2022. Tell me how in the world is
18,
it?
19, 20. Didn't you start when you were 18? 18,
Yes.
21 to 23. You're 6 years.
What?
You're 23, right?
I started when I was 17 in October of 2017, which means this year it'll be 5 years.
You know you were born in 1999, right?
That has nothing to do with whether or not I started in 2017. I started October 13th, 2017. If you
Yeah.
count 5 years, that's 2022 October. So my 5th year is coming up.
17, 18, 19.
I've almost been working 5 years. Austin has done DoorDash for probably a
like,
year-ish,
it was like
off
2.
and on.
It was like 2.
It was the
It's
start
like
of
a
the pandemic,
consistent,
right?
yeah. It was
Yeah.
like a consistent year, and then it was just kind of
Well, yeah, I knew you
here
started,
and there.
but he started sooner.
And anyway,
That kinda
Justin,
thing.
he can barely hear at this
I was
point.
18.
And by barely, I mean he shouts loud enough. Eventually, you can hear him. But
Yeah, yeah.
Justin has had about 3 years, I think, and then my wife has been working for about 4 years at the same Domino's store. So right now, all of us work at the same
Yep.
Domino's store, but Austin just started a couple weeks ago, so he doesn't really have super crazy
No.
stories.
I got some crazy DoorDash ones though.
Yes,
So-
we
I got
all
one.
do.
I got DoorDash one too.
So we'll try our best to
I
take
got
our
some I don't
turns.
think I've ever told you guys. So
Ooh.
yeah.
I had sex with a customer once.
Me
It was
too.
great. I'm kidding.
You do have a customer that really liked you, though. I remember.
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't there a customer?
Oh,
that liked you?
yeah.
Oh yeah. I had okay.
You look pretty. No, it's through text, right?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I guess you could.
I'm sorry that. Okay, I'm just gonna start with one.
Okay.
I delivered to this house. It was like what, 12 o'clock at night. It was late.
Yeah.
It was like maybe 11, 12. And I drop off the food. And I hand it to her. I wasn't paying attention what she looked like or anything. I was single at the time, and like I just was so focused on I was so focused on just working that I don't pay attention to people. And then I hand it to her, and then I just know that she was blonde. That was all I knew. And then I like walk back to my car, and as I go down the road, I get this message from the customer before, you can like text each other shortly after, and then it go like you can't text that person anymore. But I get this text. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, like this is super unprofessional, but you were really cute or like really hot or something like that. And then
You text back like, I didn't even see if you were a man.
I didn't reply.
I didn't know you were.
I didn't even reply because I was like,
It's like that meme, do you like tall girls or short girls? Men.
She probably heard your car and she's like, "Oh, he's so hot."
So are you?
That's
Are
when
you?
you had the loud car, right?
yeah, that's when I had the Subaru.
She's like, "Oh yeah, noises.
Impreza.
Oh my god."
So are you done with that story? Because I have a very
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So, one night I think I was closing at this point.
And you
I
delivered
think
to Ashley.
Justin, shut up for 2 seconds. People can't. It's very obnoxious trying
I'll
to
sing
listen
a
to two
joke.
people at once.
Sing a joke.
But anyway, I think I was 22, so it was about a year or so ago. It's still during the pandemic, and I take this house. It's pretty dark out. I get out of my car. I take the order up to the front door, and I knock, and I can tell there's a party going on because there's a lot of teenage girls going behind the door. I'm like, oh, here we go. So
As they do.
Yeah,
and
as
also
they do.
As we do.
and this girl opens the door. She looks maybe 16. Maybe. She might even be 15. And I hand her the pizza. I hand her everything. It was pre-tip. I didn't have to do anything. I just said, have a good day. She shuts the door, and I hear this loud commotion right behind the door as if someone had fallen. So I assume it's her because it's pretty close to the door.
Or they drop the pizzas.
So, yeah, probably both. So that happens while I'm walking back to the car. So I kind of chuckle to myself like, that's kind of funny. So I get in my car and I'm starting to write down all the information as far as like how much I got for tip, and then, putting all my stuff away. And I turn on my
I need to
car.
start doing that.
I turn on my car and I'm, I was looking to my right for all that stuff, and I come back forward, and she kind of spooks me a little bit because she's standing like right in my window, the same girl that answered the front door. And I roll down the window. I'm like, did I miss anything? And she's like, can I have your Snapchat?
Yeah, I've heard
And-
that story a few
and
times.
and the thing is, I didn't say, oh no, it's fine. I won't give you my Snapchat. I just got to do my job, kind of thing. I said, no,
Snapchat.
thank you, and I rolled up the window and I took off. And I'm like, that
What a
poor girl
legend.
got rejected so fucking hard, and she
What a
was
king.
obviously high.
Oh,
She was
Oh,
underage too, so I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's why she's
I mean,
hitting
okay,
on me. No
but-
sober woman's gonna hit on me,
But I'm sorry, but like,
except my wife, who is not sober right now. But
I've had a very similar story to that now. Now that I think of it. It was a very drunk lady. She was probably like 40, and she's like a
dude,
She was like a GM of Walmart, and she really wanted me to be. She wanted me to. Oh wait, her friend said something about if she has a house. She said she has a house, and like, oh, she'll take care of you, kind of thing. I'm like, I'm good.
what are you talking about,
don't
Justin? You
wanna-
could have lived your life on
I
easy mode as a
know.
sugar baby,
I
Yeah.
know, but I'm not gonna be like that.
or what is it
I'm not
called?
like that.
Because it's cougar, and I don't think they're called sugar babies. They're called
no,
something else.
They're
Cubs.
sugar moms.
I think they're called
I,
cubs.
I just call them sugar mamas.
No, they're cougars, but the guys I think are called cubs.
No,
We can talk about that later.
yeah, it doesn't.
But, and that was a
really matter.
delivery store. Or was that just your
Yeah,
walk? Oh,
no, those Domino's. Yeah.
weird.
Bro, if
Weird.
some older lady came up to, if I was single, if
Still
some
single,
older
yeah.
lady ever came up to me and was like, yo, I'll take care of you, you don't have to pay anything, like I'm
tempted,
wealthy,
wouldn't
I literally would have been
I'd
like,
look them dead in the eyes and be like, "Do you have a cock?" And they're like, "Yes." And you're like,
bet. Yeah.
on two conditions. One, I only suck it one time.
No.
And when I do it, you give me
No,
everything.
I literally would. I would be one of those people
yeah.
that would.
I will. Yeah, just be
I
like,
would be a fucking legend. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
yeah.
Like I would like. Oh, like
You
do you
get to
have a
live-
girlfriend? Yeah, she's 40, but like, how old are you? I'm 24.
She has
I don't
money,
have to
though.
work another day in my life.
I don't have to work. Like she takes care of me. Like, and all she gets is sex. Like,
Yeah. It's consensual. It's totally
yeah,
fine.
like. I've actually been offered that off of not delivery stories, but I almost took it, but I was like 20 and I was like,
Your parents would be like,
Oh, dude,
Was
like,
it a
yeah.
man?
No,
Oh.
it was actually an attractive female. Like she was in her 30s, but
Was it my sister? I'm kidding. She's not even 30 yet.
and then I don't know. Like I really wanted to do it because she was a hot older lady, you know. And I'm like, fuck, I'm 20, dude. Like, how is this gonna fucking work? Like,
Your dad would probably say some words to you at that time, but he probably would have been like, I get it.
like in his head, he would have been like, nice,
Yeah.
you know.
I
But
taught you
also
right
been
under the
really
table.
like really ashamed of me at the same time. He would have probably been like, I'm not gonna ever
mean,
admit this. Like, just
That's
thought
not
it.
that bad, though. 30
What?
is not that bad. Like, if it was like 45, 50, then we're talking
Okay,
territory where
but
it's a bit
I'm
weird.
talking like 20, and I think she was like 38.
Okay.
But I mean, she was,
Yeah.
dude.
I mean,
Okay, do you ever? This is gonna
There-
sound weird if they ever do see this, but you remember Heather from our youth group?
Yes.
You remember Heather?
I'm not going to
Yeah.
say her last name because
No,
for
I don't
obvious
even know
reasons.
it, to be honest.
I
But
do.
I do.
dude, I was in love with her for the longest time. She
I
was
was not.
so fucking hot.
She kind of blimped up.
Yeah, she did, but
Yeah.
she's still fucking hot.
So
I
did-
don't
so-
care.
So did Caitlyn. Not Caitlyn, but Katrina.
Who's fucking Katrina?
Was that her name? Sorry.
What, Hurricane? I mean, yeah, of course she's gonna be big.
Sorry,
I
I'm
know who
having
you're talking
a
about.
stroke.
I know who you're talking about.
Kalena.
Kalena, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Kalena became a fucking marshmallow, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Kalena, but like,
A lot of the people we went to youth group with got so fat.
yeah,
It makes sense. Well, I was a part of the
You
youth
exploded.
group too. Yeah.
you were like this, and now you're like this. Okay.
The same since
And your tits went from like here to fucking.
And then Austin was from what to what?
Yeah, he got really skinny, but that was because of an accident.
Yeah.
So, trying to think.
All that
There's
fucking hard
another
work.
delivery story that I think I've already mentioned on stream, but we're already here, so why not?
I mean, might as well.
So, about 2 months into working at Domino's, so I'm like brand new driver. This is like maybe 2018, so quite a while ago. And at this time, we didn't really have pre-tips, so we had to get all of our receipts had to be signed, which was a bit of a bitch. But so you know, I think I'm working in the back, and someone calls my name, like, Brandon, you got a delivery up. So I come around, I go to the dispatch screen, and it's order 666. I was like, haha, this is funny. Like, oh, it's the first time I was taking 666, and I thought all those numbers had been like not like acceptable
allowed.
by, because some companies will do that where like 420, 69, 666, 777.
That's why they don't make 69 road signs.
Yeah. Well,
They-
because
or
it gets stolen.
mile marker 69. They don't make 420.
In
like,
Wyoming,
street.
they don't care because no one's there. They have a mile marker 420.
I wouldn't take 420. I don't give a fuck about 420. 69, I would take that.
Yeah,
though.
I would.
I would take that sign.
Allegedly. So I get my
would.
order ready. I grab the receipt and I head off to my car.
Allegedly.
And it's still in the back of my mind. Order 666. Maybe something bad will happen. And the delivery that I had, and at this time we didn't have an app either, so I had to
Mhm.
input everything manually. So, and we had delivery tags at this time too. So I had to make sure all that stuff would. But anyway, finding the address, I could find it. I found it just fine. It was about a 5 or 10 mile drive in between there. I can't remember. But I know there's one road that I had to go on, and I won't mention it just because it'll kind of give away where we're at. It's kind of a windy road. You know, after you turn on 224th to the right and you head down for probably a couple miles, you'll hit the third light, kind of where the Latter-day Saints church thing is on that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll take a left down that way, and you'll go until you hit the Shell gas station. You'll take a right, that windy road. So I know I had to go past that windy road. I don't remember exactly where the address was, but eventually I make it there. And I get everything ready. I had a clipboard at that time because I had to have everything signed. It was so obnoxious at that time. And then I also took because it was protocol, you'd have to take the delivery bag with you to the house. You couldn't just take it out. So I took that with me. Had them sign the receipt after they answered the door, and then I open up the bag as they're signing the receipt and hand them their food. And I look down at the receipt. I'm like, oh, they give me $5. So order 666, not that bad. walk back to my car, and I kind of chuckle a little bit to myself because the person who answered the door was obviously a lesbian. So I'm like, ha ha, God, very funny. It's like, oh, 666, I get it, because she's gay, whatever. So I get in my car and I think nothing of it. So I get back on the main drag, that same road I'm talking about, and there's this car in front of me. And I thought, oh, they're probably going to go slow because it was like a lifted Jeep almost. It was an FJ Cruiser, but it was lifted. So I was like, oh, he's going to go slow. So I catch up to him, and turns out he's going about 10 over the speed limit with me. So I'm like, hell yeah, fuck yeah. So we're coming around all the turns, and we take this turn, and out of the corner of my eye, I see like this blur of like white and brown and orange, and it catches my attention. I look over and I notice that this is a dog, and in this split second that I see what is about to happen, I'm crossing my fingers in my mind like, I really hope with this lifted car that this dog just goes underneath the car and doesn't catch a tire. So it runs out, and turns out that luck that day was not very good. Order 666, I swear. Rolls under both tires and then lands like right behind the car. I'm following so far behind that I'm able to come to a stop, and not but like a second after I come to a complete stop, the owner of the dog is running from the same direction, and it's like he's frantically telling me, you need to stop, stop, and I'm at a complete stop. So at this point I know he's panicking. Yeah. And you know, the dog at this point was whimpering and seizing and not very fun to watch. And of course that makes the guy freak out more because he's looking at his dog, and now the driver of the car in front of me is starting to get out. I'm like, what the fuck is gonna happen here? Like, I don't know. The driver looks like he's pretty apprehensive. Yeah, I know.
He's already dead. If he's twitching and seizing.
No, he was seizing and whimpering. He's still alive.
That could mean he's dead, though.
No, whimpering? No.
I don't know how long he was alive after he got hit, but it was not for very long, because there's another guy that came over from the other side of the road, and it was an older gentleman, and it looked like he was related to the owner of the dog because they kind of knew each other. At least they were friends or neighbors or something. So the older guy comes by, and he's a little bit more composed. He tells the driver that it's not your fault, you can go. He looks toward the owner of the dog,
Jesus Christ,
who at this time is just bawling his eyes out, and he just seized up. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just looking at my dog die in front of my eyes. And then the older guy tells the one who's crying at this point, like, hey, we just need to move out of the road. Everyone needs to go. We can, figure out once we get there. And of course, he picks up the dog, and I think it was like 10 seconds in between the guy running out to tell me to stop to the guy picking up the dog. By the time he picked up the dog went limp. So the dog was already dead by the time he picked him up 10 seconds later. So they move him out of the way, and I start to drive, following the same car I was following before. Of course, this time we're both going about the speed limit, as you would. And I'm just on straight up autopilot, not thinking about anything. And then I get to that turn where I'm turning onto the main drag to get directly back to the store. And then I snap out of it, and I just start crying. Because I'm like, I just saw what looked like a 2-year-old dog die in front of my eyes, and a grown man cry because his dog had just died in front of my eyes, and it all was gone within 10 seconds. So I didn't know how to react, and I just started crying. And it's probably about 2 miles on that stretch of road. And whenever I was about half a mile from the store, I'm like, I can't look like I've been crying. So I try to fucking wipe off my fucking tears. And then I get back to the store. I redispatch in, and my manager notices that, my eyes are red. And she's like, have you been crying? And I was like, yeah, I just saw a dog die. And she's like, oh. It's like, yeah, it was not great. I should be fine as far as for the rest of the day, but I'm going to be a little sad for a couple hours, because that was probably the first death I had seen in front of my eyes, human or otherwise. So I was like, ugh, it hit me pretty fucking hard, because at that time I think I was 18 years old. So I was still young. And dumb.
Come on, man. Like, you would still cry if you saw a dog die in front of you. So.
Oh, yeah. I almost saw
Anybody does.
Yeah.
Anybody does. I don't care. Like, I'm heartless. I didn't even cry after my dad died. Like, I was just kind of like, I still haven't cried since. But I cried when Jackson died, because that was horrible.
Yeah.
That was just horrible. Like, I mean, obviously having my dad die was awful, but like it was just different. Yeah.
I don't think you're the only person, because there's been several
No.
situations where
Well,
someone, like an older
Also,
couple, is being beat by somebody and there's bystanders and they won't do anything.
That's fucking stupid.
But there was another incident in about the same area with generally the same demographics, and there was this dog on a ledge, and everyone's like, we gotta help that dog, we gotta help that dog. Like, everyone wanted to intervene when it was a dog, but not when it's a human being, because people, I think, have a different view of human beings
people
than
are
dogs.
just like, in our heads they're disposable, right? Like in my own.
Well, and the other thing too is, in helping that dog, no harm will come to me, but if I try to help this person, I may be beat up too. So there's a risk
either
assessment
that, or
there,
you
too.
might go to jail just for
That's
helping.
true. That's true.
Nowadays, like, it's awful, but
especially
I'm
in New
still
York.
I'm still gonna help a person, like, for my own conscience.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if the consequences. I'm gonna help somebody in need. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be safe under that. Most likely, good Samaritan law.
So if there's a car accident, right, and the car's burning, and you pull someone out of that car, and then they die from like the injuries, you are responsible for their death.
I don't think so.
I think the good Samaritan law.
And
No, because there's
I think
it's Washington for one. Okay.
I think
I feel like
a
that
cop
just
may
explains it
arrest
all.
you, but I don't think that you would be charged for the crime, because as far as
Did
if
your
you have a
best to
good
save
enough lawyer,
Well,
if you go to trial,
the-
especially a jury trial, they'll see that you
Well-
tried to save someone's life. You didn't try to harm them in any way, and they would be like, this law, he's
'cause,
not guilty.
you know,
of
like
whatever
protocol
you
would,
brought
you
forward.
know, when you see an accident, it's like, don't move your head, neck. Like, we're gonna stabilize you until
unless
help
there
comes.
is an impending danger,
Yes.
like fire or smoke
Or they're dead.
Or not
No
even
pulse.
smoke. I wouldn't necessarily worry about smoke at that moment. I would just be focused on the person. Yeah, I would keep
Yeah.
that in check. But once I went into flames, I would be like, okay, we're getting you out. I don't care what's going on. Like, that's far from my brain. Like, we're gonna get you out. And if they die because, you know, let's say like their neck was so close, or like their spine was so close to breaking, or whatever, or they had internal injuries or whatever. Yeah, like, I don't know. There's
Would you risk burning yourself to save somebody?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I don't care.
It depends on the situation.
My fear would be it explodes and kills
See,
people trying to help.
It depends on the situation, because
A car actually exploding isn't normal likely. It's more just gonna
I've
go
seen it.
and then go up in flames. Like, it's
Not a delivery story, but I'd have
it's
a
not
story
like
in that
boom.
regard.
It's not like, you know, you strapped a car bomb to someone and then you went.
No.
It's not like that. It
Okay.
starts as a flame, and then it gets worse, and then the whole car normally just gets engulfed with
Yeah.
flames.
Yeah.
And then,
No, I've seen it.
but it doesn't just go kaboom, and then the car just flies into a million pieces.
Well,
It's-
and
sure,
if,
there's
if
incidents
it
that
reaches
happens,
if it
but-
reaches the gas tank, it's normally just a pop.
yeah.
There's not a main explosion. However, I also did see kind of a flatbed truck, not like a huge semi, but like in between a
Apparently.
work truck and a semi, and its fuel tank, it exploded. But it wasn't like the movies where it's just this huge fireball. It was just, it kind of like barely expanded that much.
Like, there was a
'Cause it was
fire.
contained.
There was a fire the other day at the gas station right across the street. A truck caught on fire, and it was fully gone
Nice.
by the time it was all done. But they stopped
Cool.
it because it was at one of the gas pumps.
Wait, Justin, did you see? Did they clear it up before you got here? There was an accident.
There was
Yeah,
flares.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it went into the bushes.
It looked like it was a lone driver,
Yeah,
probably drunk,
drunk.
went into the
Fell
ditch. He looked alive at that time, but they did have head wrap or wraps on his head. So
Yeah, they were concluding it whenever I went through there.
yeah, they were. I think they're halfway in between whenever I got there to turn in.
I only saw the flares. There was nothing other than the flares. I was like,
they got him out pretty quick.
Did you
'cause
think
it was
about
only one
grabbing
driver.
one?
I did. I
Yeah.
did literally think about grabbing one and then coming in here with a road flare, being like,
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, not
Those things are
inside.
hot.
Well, it stinks up the house too.
Yes, it does.
would have been a good
That would-
story.
that
All
would be
right, so
dope.
I've concluded my story.
I just want to go in a cave with one of those.
Okay, so one of my delivery stories was one of the craziest things I had to do for an order when
Was
I
it,
was doing DoorDash.
DoorDash, yeah.
This was one of the craziest things I got this, on the app it says everything that you need to do, and I didn't really I only pay attention to it once I get close to their house. That's the only time I ever pay attention. So I get to the house and then I read the instructions. And it's like 9 something at night. And it's dark out because it's Washington. It was during like the winter time. And it says, go around to the side of the house. There's a ladder leading up to the second story. Climb up and hand food through window.
Nice.
And I did.
He actually did it, yeah.
And
That
he gave me
you
like
do.
a $10 cash tip, and he also tipped me on the app. So I was like, he didn't have that much food either, and it was a close delivery. I was like, this is cakewalk,
He
bro.
just wanted to see if you do it. He probably
Well,
didn't.
no, what I think it was, because it was a young kid, and I think what it was, I mean, the whole house was dark.
He didn't want
He
his
didn't want-
parents to wake up.
Yep. And I think that's exactly what it is. Like,
You
he
did him a
prepared,
favor.
like,
Now-
yeah, it was really
Now,
funny.
I would advise anyone who is starting out, either
Yeah,
DoorDash
don't
or
do
delivery
that.
drivers, don't ever, if it feels like it's not right, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because there's been several times
Yeah.
where I've had, and my wife as well, I've
I have too.
had people ask that I walk into their house. Even if it feels fine, don't do it, because the risk that you're putting to yourself is that there's someone right behind the door that you can't see when they open the door, and then once you walk far enough in, they can shut the door. They'll either rob you or kill you. So you got to be careful about that. At no point should you ever enter into someone's house if you're a delivery
Whoa.
driver, unless you know them.
Also, like,
They could accuse you, too. of
That's
stuff.
the other
dude,
thing. They could accuse you of many
I've already
things.
delivered to some houses during the daytime where I did not feel comfortable at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Already, I'm like,
sketchy areas.
I delivered to this house. It was really creepy, and they said that there was a cash tip on the chair, and there was no fucking cash tip, and I was like, bitch. Anyways,
Was there wind?
Sometimes those
No.
delivery.
I checked on the floor. I checked all over the place, and there was no cash. I was like, what a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, and sometimes those delivery comments carry over from the last one. So sometimes it was
I
for
kinda
the
thought
last
that too.
delivery.
That's true.
So
But no, there was the one. It was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes. Right. Yeah. No.
just say yesterday.
Sure. It was yesterday. Anyways, I went to this house. I mean, it was like in the middle of the woods, dirt road. There's another house not too far over, but it was still like a half a mile away.
There's a lot of those.
And then, I mean, it was like just enough for one car to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and it was just forest. I mean, like dense forest. I was like, where the fuck do these people live? And how do they have service? And
They
then,
don't.
so,
Yeah,
anyways,
no.
I like go through, and I mean, it's just run down, like rat infested house. Like it looks like it.
I think oh no, I don't
but
know
they
what
have
you're
like a
talking about. Never
nice
mind.
Kia, like Ashley's car, and I
Yeah,
was
know
like,
what you're talking about. They order a lot.
and
Like,
it's
Do
an
they
older lady.
do they do they say cars visible from driveway?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that. It was.
never been
But
to
I mean,
someone
it
else.
was like total rundown. I mean, I was like, there wasn't anywhere for me to turn around, so I had to back out of that long ass driveway backwards.
I hate having to do that.
And I mean, it was like a thin road. Like there was like probably this much on each side to move without going
Yeah.
into the bushes. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I
Like
hate
just
that.
come down to the end of the driveway and then just meet me there.
Okay. There's it's a
But
very small
I
story.
didn't
It's
feel
more of like an
comfortable there.
inconvenience that I had one day. You'll have not customers that you deliver to, but people on the road will act like they are moral arbiters of the road because you have a car topper on.
Mhm.
And this one day, I was just traveling down a gravel road. And sometimes on gravel roads, there's a neighborhood that's like, I want you to go slow so you don't kick up all the dust. So I saw the sign. So I was going about 10, 15 miles an hour. And this truck, is coming from the opposite way. And as I pass, he rolls down the window. I'm like, why is he rolling down the window? I roll down the window. He's like, hey, could you slow down next time? I was like, I was going 10. Like, what do you want me to do? Go slower? It's like, I'm delivering pizzas for a living. I didn't tell him that. I just said,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I kept going, and I'm like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck? If I didn't have the Domino's topper and I was going 30, you wouldn't have stopped and rolled down the window because you're like, oh, I can't do anything about it. But the second he sees a car topper, he's like, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell him to slow down because people, right? I don't know what it is, but the second they see that, they're like, I am now the police of citizens. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah. And
You're not
then
cool at all.
To another order I did, and this was a older lady that hit on me, which was really funny.
Ooh.
She was actually really cute, and she had like a kid, but I don't
Was
think
she
I don't
60?
know if she was married. No, she was like in her 30s, but it was like 2 years ago, so I was like maybe she was 30. She might have been late 20s, but anyway, she was really cute, and I deliver, and then they missed something on the order which I can't look at. And she was like, "Oh, like, could you do me a favor and go back? Like, I'll tip you extra, like,
Yeah.
everything." I was like, "Yeah, like, sure, like, why not?" Like, she already gave me like a $5 tip. I was like, "Sure, like, it wasn't that far away anyway." So I was like, "Yeah, I can go do that." She's like, "Oh, thank you," and then she kind of like, I don't know, it was just a weird feeling. And then I go back, and then she hands me a like $15,
Damn.
like extra. I was like. And then she like kept talking with me, and she was like, like it was just I was like, I'm getting
Uh-oh.
hit
Nice.
on like hardcore right now, and I don't know what to do because I'm awkward. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to talk like normal, and
Just say you're gay. You
no,
have to say.
because
See,
no.
I've had a similar situation. It was a reoccurring customer that had like ordered from
But
2018 to like
there was more, but-
2019. And for some reason he would never tip. You would have to hand it to him because for some fucking reason you still need to get the receipt signed. And if you said or asked one question, he would open up about his life. He would tell you about his brother who is disappointed in him, or about his girlfriend that has all these health problems. And he will keep talking to you for as long as you stand there. The only way to get him to stop talking is to go to your car. One of my coworkers did that. He was still talking to him after he shut the car door. This guy is the loneliest motherfucker I've ever heard of in my life, and for some reason he wants to annoy delivery drivers by not tipping them and talking to them incessantly. It's like, I already know I'm not getting money from you. And at this time you only got 90 cents per delivery, so it's like, I need to go back to the store to make money. I'm not going to talk to you because you've already, we've done this tango multiple times. I just want to go. So every time that I delivered to him after I figured that out, I just didn't say anything. I just handed him the stuff and I walked away. The second you ask a question, he thinks that, oh, you're interested in me. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just asking, how are you today? Not fucking, can you tell me your life story about your Thanksgiving fucking charade that you had 2 weeks ago?
That's what some people think, though. Whenever you say, how are you doing today? They'll tell you everything.
See,
Yeah.
there's a comedian, Tom Segura, who had
grandpa
like a
does that.
really good joke about that, but I'll let you continue.
I was gonna say a story, but I honestly
Our
forgot.
grandpa's that
It was
way.
about that lady that hit on you. That kept
Oh
talking
yeah,
to
there was
you.
just more to that, but I had a different one. I already forgot about that one, but I can come back. And she like afterwards, she just like texted me, and she was like, "Oh, I really appreciate you. Also, you were like really cute." But then I just didn't reply because I was like I want to reply to this, like I really do, but no. And I was just,
But the good Lord is watching me from above.
yeah, basically, I was like.
Although he's looking back down at me, he's like,
I literally, anytime a
Should've
girl
said
hit on me
yes.
and I knew they had a kid, it was like, no.
I'm not ready to be a daddy.
Well,
How many girls that have kids have hit on you?
oh, I have gone out with a few that have had kids.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
they're honestly really cool. And I like, there was a few that I like went out like 2 or 3 times and I was like, I think you're cool and, I could see this going somewhere, but just the fact that you have a kid.
But I hate kids.
I don't particularly like kids. Now, if it's mine, I feel like I'll have a different
Perspective
opinion
on that,
about
yeah.
it, but
Yeah,
it's just something I'm not gonna
I
take
wouldn't recommend
control of.
anyone to do that unless you're absolutely certain that's what you want.
Yeah.
Because if the girl has a kid, unless of course her husband has passed away or boyfriend has passed away, the feelings for her ex is always going to be there. And now that they have a
Well, and then
child
there's also
together,
drama and shit.
well,
like,
yeah,
you're
but
gonna
now that
get
they have a
dragged
child together,
into
he
it.
eventually has to come over and do some things. So it's like you're always going to be like, well, is
Listen,
something
just
happening there?
dipped and
Yeah.
never be heard of again.
And that's true. That does happen from time to time, but you got to be careful about those situations,
Yeah.
I say.
And there's so many single moms. Like it's
There's a lot.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
how
there's
many.
certain reasons for it, but that's for another day to get into.
Yeah. But
Justin, can you go to the third tab?
Yeah.
I don't remember all my stories unless I can see them. I won't talk about the rollover. I think I already talked about it before, but there's a lady that rolled over in front of the store. It looked like a right-hand
Yeah.
drive Subaru
you
WRX.
told me about that.
Yeah, her hand was pinned under the car. Everyone wanted to flip it. I'm like, no, because if she severed an artery, the only thing keeping her alive is that car. And yes, she's in pain, but we'll wait and tell people who actually know what to do get here. And the stupid lady kept trying to take her fucking purse. She's like, I'm going to take it over here. I'm like, why do you need to take it over there? Just call them from right here. There's no reason why you need to take it. Stop trying to steal it. I didn't know if that's what she was doing or if she was just kind of like in that shock period where she's like, I don't know. But I was like, hand it to the police when they get here. They can call the family members. What are you looking up?
I'll show you later, but it reminded me of something.
Oh,
It's pretty-
yeah.
We'd get copyrighted if we...
Yes, we would. Justin, go back to the third tab
Mhm.
and then close off the YouTube so it doesn't
I-
make my computer
Okay,
explode.
what would you? I'm gonna ask you. What would you do in this? This is. I'm going through all
Sex
the ones where
immediately.
I got hit on, and it wasn't often, but those like stick in your head because it was like I got hit on. Whoa. You
Makes
know,
you feel good.
it was like the beginning of me doing DoorDash. I delivered to someone at Dutch Bros, the one far down on Meridian, like the one
Initially,
down by the
but
mall,
you're like,
the one in the mall parking lot.
I haven't been there.
Okay, well, anyways, like I hand her the food. Literally, like I'm like, oh, how are you doing that? Like go like this to hand her the food, and she just we make eye contact. She's like staring at me like this, like she's like, but she does this. She goes like this, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I know. I was like, what are you
staring at
fucking
your
doing?
soul.
And like in my head, I'm like, is there something on my face?
Or she grabs a drink and she just does.
But anyways, so and then you know I just kind of like looked over to the side. I was like, here's your food, you know, and I like looked down because I was tired of making like eye contact, and I was like, this is fucking weird. And then she goes, you have like the most like odd color eyes I've ever seen.
That's such a great compliment.
No, but
That's a
it
great
was-
way to pick up a guy.
it was like
you
the-
have the strangest eyes I've ever seen in my life.
Like if you
Like
look
they're
at
not
them, they look-
ugly. They're
they
just strange.
If you look at them, they look just brown. But if sunlight hits them, they're like a mixture of every fucking color, and it's honestly really weird.
It's
I
called
don't like
hazel eyes, by the way.
it. Well, I know, but there's like even like sometimes you could see like a hint of blue in like one part of it, and it's only in one part. It's really weird. But anyways, my mom's eyes are wild though.
I don't stare into people's eyes.
Have you
I'm
guys
not
ever
an
paid attention to my mom's eyes?
No.
I haven't even paid attention.
nor would I
Look,
feel comfortable being like,
Next time, no, you don't even have to do that. You just like make eye contact with her and just look at her.
yeah,
Like,
I may
she
notice.
has like the most like yellowish green eyes I've ever seen on a human.
But I think
That's
that's one of the
fucking
reasons
creepy.
why I may be autistic, because I can't concentrate if I look someone in the eyes while I'm talking. For some reason, I can't.
You're just thinking about my dick, huh? You're
No.
like, damn, like
No, it's
I can't
just
concentrate. He's just too hot.
think
Like,
for
I'm
me,
only thinking about his dick. Like
I
all
think
those,
for
Just find it
me-
awkward.
Ugh.
for me. Not only is it awkward,
All
but
that
it's like,
penetration
okay,
power.
you can see me, I can see you. You can hear me talking, but now I'm so concentrated that you see me talking that I start to get like a little anxious about what's going on. Okay, Jesus Christ, I don't like eye contact. I've gotten a little bit better at it, but that's also because of other neurological issues that I can't disclose because I've not been diagnosed. Oh yeah, there's another story.
Hey, I wasn't done,
Oh,
bitch.
how long does it take you to talk about girls hitting on you, man?
Well, you
I've had
took over the conversation and then you went on,
I've had like 3 people hit on me.
and yeah.
Let's see if I
Are
can
we
see
under
your eyes.
arrest?
Oh yeah, I do see it actually.
I haven't
Yeah, you got green on the outside and the brown on the inside. Here,
Mhm.
Brent, look at his eyes. Can you see it?
What? Which
Look,
eye?
Bring it to his eyes.
I think it's my right eye that has like the hint
Yeah,
of
well,
blue
it's
in
both
it.
eyes. You have a concussion.
don't see it, but like my wife's eyes, you have rings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I was curious.
I didn't see it because I'm
Oh.
blind.
Because you're autistic.
But no, you did ask me if I've ever been hit on.
Yeah.
I know by
Steal
at
my
least
headset.
3 people. One of them, I won't say her last name. You may know her by first name. So she was in the youth group for quite some time. Adam's younger sister, Abby. Adam. I can't say the last name.
You mean Alex?
Alex. Yeah,
Alex,
Alex. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh.
I'm getting names mixed up. I've never been good. Yeah, she hit on me hard for years, and I'm like, I notice it, but I know. And not only now she, I believe, is bi, and then
Yeah,
her
she's,
sister's
like,
also
lesbian or something.
bi,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay. I don't know if I've been hit. Okay, that girl with the Snapchat story.
You've probably been, because there's probably numerous of times we
I think I've
have
been-
gotten hit on, but we're
Didn't
so
notice it.
stupid that we're.
It's not that I'm so stupid. It's that
Well,
it's not obvious.
we don't know.
They don't make it
Yeah.
obvious.
Like guys do. It's like
Like when a
'cause
guy's
we go
attracted,
over and beyond to try to get your attention.
yes, you'll know if we like you because we will suddenly appear in your lives. It just like that. We'll just be like, I did this with my wife too. It's like didn't know each other and then suddenly started talking to her all of a sudden. That's how you know that probably like you. Girls, on the other hand, the only sign you get is I'm gonna act really, really fucking shy whenever you're around, but I'm not gonna acknowledge it
Not
because I'm
always.
with a group of fucking friends. Okay, sometimes there's also that outgoing girl that will just talk.
I can notice it pretty easily when someone has a crush on me. They give you a little stare.
If
too.
they give you the hint, most girls are
Oh.
just very subtle about it.
Yeah, very careful. Yeah, there's.
That's true.
She's confessing.
What?
There's. It's scary. It's scary to show it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
how
really
do you
hard.
think we do? But we get rejected, but we still continuously go
Because we're men.
yeah, because we have to, or we're never gonna get anywhere. So it's like we have to do this. Yeah, like we've been embarrassed, but like
1,000 times.
yeah. But anyways, to continue, like she says that like, oh, you have like the most like odd color eyes I've never seen before. They're so cool or whatever. And then I was like, oh, thank you. You know, like I didn't really say much. I was just kind of like.
Weirded out.
No, I wasn't because I was like, oh, you're really cute. I'm not gonna make eye contact now that you've said this, and now it's really fucking awkward. But anyways, I handed her the food, and then she goes, do you want a free drink? And I was like, sure. You know, I said, yeah, sure. And then she goes, what flavor do you want? And I said, just surprise me.
I'm sorry, Dick. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I just said surprise me, and then she kind of goes, I like that. Anyways, and then she goes back inside. It was really funny. And then she comes back out and she goes, I hope you like it. I was like, oh, I'm sure I will. That was my attempt to flirt back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I will. And
But
then
did you do
and
it in
then-
the,
No, and
"Oh,
then
I'm
I
sure
literally
I
just,
will"?
and then I just, no, I was like, oh, I'm sure I will, you know, like that. And then I
That just sounds, no, you
You
got to
kinda
be like,
just-
I'm sure I will. And then walk off. Like, you have to do the right inflections. Otherwise, it just comes off
I-
as, yeah,
I suck.
"Oh, I'm sure I will. That's
But
how you
that-
blow
that
kisses.
That was basically
Yeah.
it. And then we kind of just stood there for a minute. And then I was like, well, you have a good day. And then I just walked away because I was like,
To be honest, that's pretty much what I do every.
yeah.
Because
No, you hit
You-
on you.
No,
hit
no,
on
no.
girls. She was
No.
like, that's pretty much what I do. Like I give a little flirtatious back, and then it's like,
Peace.
I had to do
Bye,
that at
bitch.
one
Playing
point
hard
because
to get.
okay, now this isn't even delivery stories anymore, but this is how
No, it's not.
This is how I got my wife. So we're going to the same summer camp, and I had noticed her probably for about 6 months beforehand, but I was pursuing some other girl because I was like, this girl who is later gonna come out to be my wife is like way out of my league. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get in a relationship with her. So
am I out of your league?
and no, you don't have enough ass.
yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
you know,
true.
I give it the good old college try, and camp is I believe Monday through Thursday, and then Friday you head home. Monday you get there, Friday you head home.
Good old college try. We're not college. It was summer camp.
Anyway,
Is it
so
alcohol?
I go over
but
to
it's so
my
good.
wife and her friend. I did not like her friend. I
like-
still
it's
don't
like
like her
gummy
friend, by
worms.
the way.
It's game fuel.
G Fuel.
Oh, G fuel.
Well,
thought it
G
was-
Fuel,
We're not advertised.
I love G
Get
Fuel.
that out of here. Get that out of here. Unless they advertise us, get that out of there.
They'll be like, oh shit. Well,
They're not gonna hear it. We have 4 subscribers. I have 10, but only like 4 of them watch, and 3 of them are us. Anyway,
I'm busted.
so whenever I'm attracted to someone, I will typically joke with that person a lot. Like they'll notice me at first, and it takes a lot of confidence to do it, but I won't tell that person that I like them. I'll just hang around them for a little bit, and then I'll be like, what's your phone number? You want to text, that kind of thing.
You know what to look
And
for now.
I will kind of text for months, kind of
You start
establish
spouting
a
jokes all
kind
the
of a
time.
friendship
You'll be
first,
like,
and
"Hey,
then I will drop hints as if I like that person. So they ask me the
Whoa.
question like, "Who do you
You a
like?" So I
washer?
answer it like, "I like you. Do you like me back?" And if they say no, then it's like, "Oh, that's fine." But that's like a subtle way to get to someone,
I remember you saying something
And
like that. That's so fucking
While I was at summer camp, there was at one point where there was another guy hitting on my wife at the same time. Now, of course, not my wife at the time. That sounds so wrong. No. It was a guy named Nathan. He was a British guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fucking hate British people. No offense to British people, but I do.
Anyway,
They're smug, ignorant little bitches.
that is
I'd
true
love
in
to-
this case, by the way.
I love to deck in
but
the face. Once I
he-
hear a,
He
what?
thought, yeah, they would.
hey, you know what? I don't care, senior.
His approach was to be very aggressive, like always around kind of thing, and he was so smug about a lot of things, even though he really wasn't that cool. And I think that came off. And my wife at this time was struggling. I can't remember what you were struggling with at this time. I won't open up about it, but you just wanted your space, and this Nathan guy wouldn't give you the space, so you kind of just went to the girls' dorm so he would finally go away from you. My wife said he would sit by the bathroom whenever she escaped there. They can't hear you because
Yeah, the mic doesn't work.
yeah, the mic doesn't work. You can just hear us. So, anyway, I'm a little bit smarter and can sense things better than this guy could. So I just
Me?
no. So I just backed off.
I thought he went this guy, and I was like,
No, I backed off. I knew that there was a rivalry between like me and him, but I just backed off. I'm like, okay, she obviously wants space. I will go do something else for a little bit. It's not the end of the world. I don't have to be around her all the time. Like I want to be, but if she doesn't want to be, it's not gonna fucking help me by staying next to a goddamn bathroom. That's such a creep move. It's like I'm stalking you, motherfucker. I'm ready. I'm looking. The second you're alone, I'm fucking
Rape.
I'm kidding. Obviously, because I gave her space, and then eventually I asked her best friend, which I still don't like to this day. I was like, "Where'd Ashley go?" She's like, "Oh, she went to her cabin. She
you
just
guys-
wasn't feeling very good." So I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just wait until she eventually comes out, and then I'll talk to her whenever she's ready."
pause. Are you guys still friends?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I
They
think
never
guys
really
again
were.
recently.
And
Oh,
and the
okay.
worst thing about it is the only reason he went to summer camp was because of her. And
Was it a guy? in your youth group?
one of our youth pastors, Kelly, knew that was the case, and my wife told him flat out, "I don't like you. Stop following me. I'm not having like a good time. Just I don't like you.
Fucking
Can you please
British
go away
people.
from me?" And he took that really fucking hard.
Good.
He left a
I hope
day.
he killed himself.
He left a day early. Don't say that shit. We're gonna get age restricted again.
Sorry.
I believe
hope
he's
you
alive
don't.
and well today for, as much as British people can be. But he got really upset and he left early. And our youth pastor did what, most youth pastors would do, is be like, why did he leave? Oh, he left because this person. And then she went up to Ashley and said, why did you say what you said? And she, of course, explained her position. I don't think Kelly pressed any harder, did she, about it? She was just like, okay.
I would have just told him, hey, listen, I'll get this guy to rape you. So you better not. And then he would have been like, I'm into that. And then it would have
Who?
been an awkward situation. Like she would have been like, this guy will rape you.
And she said, I'm into that.
And no, and then no, never
That's what I
mind.
heard.
Never mind. No. The
Nice.
guy would have turned around and been like, I'm into that.
Like me
Never.
Well, that reminds me. There's another story. I don't know if you were there. I think it may have been the year after you guys were there, but someone tried to
Fuck me.
Were we already
sexually assault Blake. You remember Blake? Tall
Yeah.
Blake?
Yeah.
Was
Someone
it a
tried to
girl?
sexually
Or a
assault him.
guy.
3 guys tried to sexually assault him
Oh.
in the showers.
I remember that.
He
now.
fought all of them off and eventually told Jared, and nothing was done about it. I was like, you can't make that shit up. There's no fucking way. He left a day early because he couldn't deal with it, and I knew all the 3 of them. I knew all
Why'd they
3 of
pick the
them.
football player?
He pointed all 3 of them out to me, and I'm like,
You know he's a football player, right?
and the
Yeah,
thought in
yeah.
my mind is, if nothing's gonna be done about it, man, it would feel really good to just fucking.
Well,
just
the thing
fucking-
is, like, if I would have known back then,
oh man, just
like,
fucking
just
run across
everybody,
the field and pelt
just
him right in the
not
back
even-
of the
not
fucking
even,
head.
Not even that. You got to do it strategically. You got to do it when we're all going back to camp, and then walking through the woods to get back to their cabin, and then you just.
Well, you don't kill
walk
him.
Demonetized.
You don't kill him. You send a message.
Allegedly.
Yeah, killing them.
No, 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 no.
You just kill one,
No, no,
and
no.
then all of them will run.
No. Here's the message. You take one of them, right? You do put him in a chokehold, but you don't
Rip
choke
off
him
his
out.
dick.
You say,
shove it down his throat. Be like,
you
"Now
say
you're dead."
it. You say, if you make a noise, I'm going to choke you out. So you better not make a noise. You
But
drag him
he's into
behind
that
one of the
because
cabins.
you tried to fuck Blake.
No, you drag him behind one of the cabins, and then you take a knife, you pull down his pants, and you put it to his balls, and be like, if you ever tried to do this to somebody else, I know where you live. Pull his pants back up and let him go.
Nah.
He'll never do it again.
Just chop it off, shove it in his throat, and then you just,
Wouldn't that
you
be
just walk
considered
away.
sexual assault too?
That you'd kill him. No, it would be
Nah.
sexually assault.
No,
Going
it
up
would-
to his balls and be like, if you do this again,
It wouldn't be
fucking cut
sexual
these off."
assault. It would be.
I don't know
it'd
why they
be-
picked
I
the
guess-
biggest motherfucker at camp
I
too.
know, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's just a challenge that they wanted. I don't know. That's
I
weird.
don't know, but I was like,
Ride him, cowboy.
Hey, maybe they're southern.
but I was thinking, I was like, man, I know I can see all 3 of them at all times, and every single time I see them, I'm like, that thought in my head, like, you know,
Wait, you
like
know who?
you've kind of fantasized about just like beating the
Did I
shit
know
out of
them?
one of them. No, they were from another church,
Mm.
and
Did
I had
you
never
see
seen
them?
them before. They
Oh.
weren't all that popular.
Wait, so you know who it was? Who they were?
I
did-
remember their faces, but I don't know their
Were
names.
they big?
There was one that was kind of bigger, but all of them were shorter than Blake
Oh.
by far.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
won the challenge.
okay, Blake was like 6'4", so
Yeah, he's a
most
big guy.
most of them were much shorter. I mean, I think all of them were shorter than me. One of them kind of looked athletic, but like
Honestly, I'm happy they picked someone their own size, not for someone smaller or whatever.
Yeah, I wish
I'm-
they would have done me because, like, honestly,
I just wish-
Done you?
I
I
just
wish
like,
they would
I'm
have picked
accepting.
me because
'Cause
they
you-
would have
you-
been dead in
you
the
got your
bathroom.
fantasy.
you would have been in the shower. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! And it's just everyone from the field can hear this going on in the bathroom. You're like, woo, yeah!
There's like a crowd.
That's right. Cry like a little bitch, motherfucker. And then,
Just walk out with the head. Ah, I'm victorious.
Jared walks by. He's like, "What the fuck did you do?" Oh, they tried to rape me, so I killed all of them. What? They're pedophiles. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I
Would
mean,
they be?
But
that,
it
that
may-
wouldn't
it
be
may-
pedophile.
No.
No,
because
it
they're
would be.
both- they're all-
Because, well, I
No,
guess they're
no,
minors too.
If
But,
the actual definition of
but
a
that
pedophile,
scared the shit out of me. I'm like, okay,
Is a
they
certain
picked
age.
they picked the wrong time because it was Blake. He was so big. What if they picked it when it was like the smallest kid? And I was like, and that would have never been known. That kid would have never said anything. And I'm like, I'm at least glad that it was Blake because he could have
Ooh,
fought them
yeah,
off.
but you never know if they tried it again or not.
Or they may have done it before that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the other
They
thing I'm
finally were
thinking
like,
about.
"Let's have a shower."
That's why I didn't take showers at camp. Well, that's not the only reason.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't take a single shower at
it was
camp.
every time we went into the lake, I would.
I'd always take a shower with someone like Austin.
Problem with those-
Yeah, like we went together whenever we did.
Yeah, that's the best way to do
Yeah.
it. But yeah, no, I
Well,
didn't.
together.
I didn't
Go
take
by
a single
yourself.
shower at camp
In the same
because
shower,
not only did I not
Cleaning
like
each
the
other.
way I looked naked.
lathering
Ooh,
each
Mike,
other
you got
up.
a nice package.
So
Yeah.
the three guys come in. You want to join, boys?
See, I feel like if that situation ever happens to me, like I'm taking, like I'm going to the gym and they have showers or whatever, and some guy, like, I'd have been like, yeah, here it is.
Yeah, you gotta outgate them.
Yeah, you just gotta out creep them.
And then if they don't take that bait and walk
And
away, then you
rip their
immediately
dick off
go,
and shove it down
Yeah.
their throat.
yeah.
Go-to move. Works every time.
Or you pull out that 9 from your keister hole and you.
Just hold on.
No, that's the distraction. Your distraction is,
Sorry. it's
hello,
covered.
boys. Anyway, back to the delivery story.
Are we still on delivery stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
You found a lost cat?
Yeah. So
Wow.
What?
so
A
it was
lost
about
pussy.
2 years ago. I believe the pandemic was still pretty prominent at this time. And I see flyers.
Did you pick the pussy up from the street?
No. Let me
Or was
tell
it
the
a
story.
corner?
Let me tell the story. It'll answer all your questions.
Okay.
Brandon's a hoe.
Yeah.
So I go to multiple different gated communities, and there's a picture. Yeah, there's a picture of 2 cats, and I just see it in passing because whenever you go to a gate, you have to enter the gate code, so I can see it on the gate. I'm like, okay, I made a mental note of those cats, and I kept taking deliveries. And then as I'm driving for another delivery, I just randomly see a cat on the side of the street or on the side of the road, and I'm like, huh, it's orange, like one of the orange cats. It might be the right one, but I just take my delivery. I don't think about it because it's not like I'm gonna be the hero today. I found the cat. It's like, no, I didn't want to do that. So I take the delivery. I come back to the same spot. The cat's still there, and I park. And I'm just trying to, note where the cat is. What's the avenue and that kind of stuff, so I can call them later and be like, hey, I saw your cat here. I didn't want to pick it up, And the reason is because it was already dead.
Oh.
Yeah, so I walked up on the cat. I noticed the balls, so I knew it was a boy. And he still had them, so I was like, he's pretty young. I think he's about a year old, and it's this orange cat, and I can see his collar, but I didn't want to get any closer to him because I didn't know how long he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't pull up name tag. I just noted where he was, and then went back to the store. And I didn't call anyone right away because I didn't know what the number was. So I went back eventually to one of those gated communities again that day. And I noted the phone number down, and then I also read the description. It was like 1-year-old cat, male, orange tabby. I was like, and the collar looks very similar in the picture. I'm like, ooh, this is not going to be very fun. But I wrote down the number. I went back to the store because I didn't want to call them on my own cell phone because I'd probably give them the creeps. So I go back to the store and I call them with the Domino's phone. I'm like, none of the numbers pick up, but I just leave a message. I'm like, hey, I'm a Domino's delivery driver. I'm sorry to inform you, I did find your cat, and your cat has passed away. Here's where the body is, and I'm sorry for you, but I just want to let you know, maybe hopefully that'll give you some closure. So, and then I hung up. And I think the next day I go by that same area where the cat was, and the cat had been picked up. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it was probably their cat. I'm like, oh, that sucks. It's like to inform someone that their cat has passed away, but at least now you don't have like the, where did that cat go?
My cat's gonna be an indoor cat. I'm never letting him outside.
It doesn't matter. Some cats can find their way outside anyway.
Not Simon.
Yeah, Simon's a retard.
Honestly, every time he goes out, he walks like really slow.
He's scared, probably.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't have teeth.
And even when he's gotten out for a few hours, once you open up the door, he runs back up and he goes, like he's terrified. Like it's really funny.
Which is
but he
good.
always wants out, but every time it's so funny when he first touched grass for the first time, he was like, It was so fucking funny. Like he was like, he tried to get off, but everywhere he went was grass because I picked him up and I put him in the middle of the yard. So he, like, it was really fucking funny. He was like, fuck.
Yeah, I was able to
everywhere.
find someone's cat that day. And then, of course, I told my sister, and she just kept teasing me about it. She sent me a picture of a flyer for a dog and be like, haha, find this one. I'm like, fuck you, Bree. But the crazy thing is, the flyer versus where the cat was like 4 miles. So this cat had walked like 4 fucking miles before it eventually got either hit by a car or just passed away on the side of the road.
I think it probably got hit because they're smart. Like they're gonna see something, they're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
They're gonna go for water. Like
and he'd been gone for like 3 months.
Damn. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
He'd been surviving for quite a time because he wasn't decomposed at all. Like he would.
He was
So-
fresh.
Yeah.
You
260
saw 2 kids.
kittens. Oh,
Okay.
another crazy story, which I do
Okay.
think I have
Alright.
in there. It's
Yeah.
related.
I
So
need to lift that up next time.
So yesterday, so my wife and I closed yesterday, not like 4 hours ago, but yesterday. And after we were done closing, we had to go to the bank. It's something you have to do when you're a closing driver. You got to drop off the deposit at the local bank.
Just you?
No, and me.
We just
Oh.
got done earlier.
This
Okay.
wasn't like 4 hours ago. It was yesterday. And my wife and I, we go with the manager at that time. I think it was our main manager at that time. I won't say her name just for privacy purposes. And we get to the bank. I get there first because for some reason our manager was taking some time. I had made the light, but the light changed before either my wife or her could go. So I make it to the bank probably about 2 minutes before them. And I noticed that on the hill just behind the bank or closer to the side of Meridian, there were about 3 or 4 deer. I'm like, what the fuck? Deer down here? I haven't seen them like this close. And I was like, what's going on? And I looked just past the deer and I can see there's like this white Acura that has its hazard lights on. I'm like, did they hit one of these deer? It's like, what the fuck's going on? I pull around and the deer get spooked, so they start to run away. And I kind of notice, it's hard to see because it's pretty dark. I noticed that there's also this brown fluff kind of over the hill. I'm like, maybe that's a fawn or something. Like, it's not really moving that much. Maybe it's not that confident. So I just kind of sit there and I wait for Ash, my wife, and my manager to show up. Good thing I was saying my wife's name first. I was about to slip up. But my wife doesn't roll around. She parks in front. And I'm like, okay, she saw something that I didn't see. So I pull forward into the front parking lot of the bank. I get out and I walk over and I see it's an adult male deer laying down, but it was over the hill, and that's why I only saw a little bit, because it was his head. And I'm like, it's laying down, it's not trying to get away from me, it's probably injured. And how about like 5 seconds after I had that thought, the deer tried to get up and walk away. And the way it was doing it, its back legs seemed to be fine because it's pushing off its back legs just fine, but it was kind of plopping as it was walking. So I was like, okay, it's probably hurt or dazed or something, but I couldn't quite tell at this point. It's like maybe a leg's broken, but I was like, okay, this deer is heading back toward Meridian. And I'm like, oh, God. So I get back in my car, I roll around and I sit in the right lane with my hazard lights on to prevent the deer from going into Meridian, spooking it away, and then also making sure that cars don't just rush by as it runs into them. So I sit there. We sit there for probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Our manager calls. I believe she calls 911, but no one can come out because it's way too late. It's about midnight, just past midnight at this time. So it's like, okay, they can't do anything.
It's when
And
you go and grab your 9 and have yourself a good
Right.
meal.
Right. And it tried to go back up this hill.
Yeah, you should have called me, but I would have came down, put it down, and we could have thrown it in the back of my truck.
Except this was like right next to the bank. Not a good idea.
Yeah, but a 22 to the head, I mean...
No, I mean, like, it's not a good idea because of the way where we were and how populated it was. It wouldn't have looked very good.
Yeah, but it's 2 in the morning
And if it had been hit by a car, who's to know how the meat is going to be? Because if it's heavily bruised on one side, it's not going to taste very good anyway.
Yeah, but I
and
mean,
you don't
the
have a
inside
deer
would taste
tag,
good.
so if you get caught with it, yeah, if you get caught with it, and it's a whole fine and
It's
all that
like,
issue,
well,
and
that's
because
what
of our
you ask.
misdemeanor
That's
and
what
our
you
probation.
ask the dispatcher. Hey, because it's injured and it's so close to Meridian, like all this, like, would it be possible for, because it's injured, it's limping, it's not walking, like it's probably gonna die no matter what, if I put it down and then take it home with me?
They'd probably say no.
Yeah, you never
In
know.
most
You might
instances,
get
but-
lucky.
It tried to go up this hill and it made it most of the way, but eventually it slid back down because it lost some energy. But in that moment, I noticed that one of its front legs was broken. I believe it was the right side.
Yeah.
So it was able
That's a
to
dead deer.
get up and run, but one of its legs was broken. So the only reason it was moving is it was so spooked by us, but eventually it goes behind the bank. So it's like, okay, we can't do anything. We put the deposit down or put the deposit in and got to go home. Of course, my wife being the animal lover, she just stands there for a little bit
Oh,
longer.
that's
I'm
when you
like,
put
come
it down.
on.
That's when you just...
I that's was my thought. I'm like, this deer is gonna die. Its leg is
Yeah.
broken. There's no way it's going to live. It's just gonna starve to death. It's
Yeah.
like, but I can't shoot it because we're in a well-populated area. It's like,
You get a vet to help them.
What?
You can get a vet.
It was
to help
too
with
late. It was too late at night.
Oh, understood. Okay.
But, and of course, I can't carry any firearm while I'm on the job, and I don't. So I didn't have
Go
anything
home.
on me. I know I could have, but by that time, the deer would have been gone.
And then you put a water bottle in front of your gun.
That doesn't.
It
That's not.
suppresses it a little bit.
Not really.
Depends on the kind of
But
water.
Plus,
bottle you
plus
have,
you
right?
got to get close enough to the deer. You know, you make a kill shot, and
'Cause
I
you
haven't
can-
shot
you
my
can
gun enough.
always, You can always. Okay.
I've only
the-
been efficient at shooting a sign.
I'm
I don't know
not-
if I
I'm-
can.
I'm not gonna say this on camera, but I'll tell you after.
Okay. Anyway, that was another story that happened a couple nights ago.
Austin committed murder.
A lot of crazy things happen. And the weird thing too is I had followed two cops. They were in the left turning lane, and they just passed it. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on! It's like, you're cops. You should have gotten out. Man, I'm sorry, but you're dead. And done it that way, you know?
I've seen a paramedic pull deers off the road. that are
Deer.
dead. Deer.
Yeah.
One deer.
No, they'll do that because you need to get stuff out of the road. You
Yeah,
got to do
it's unsafe.
somewhat of cleanup when you're there.
Mm.
Typically, there's a cleaning crew, but not always. Especially when you're as rural as we are. We're not that rural,
The
but we're
weird
rural
thing-
enough.
The weird thing though is they stopped for the deer for probably 5 minutes. I'm stuck behind them. The delivery driver was kind of annoying, but they pulled the deer out for about 5 minutes. And they continued off to their emergency. I thought that's why they went there because they had their lights on the whole time
Huh.
to move the deer, and then they continued off with their lights on still.
Oh,
It's
they had to
so
move
they
the deer
waited
out of the way.
5 minutes to go to the emergency.
They
just
they
'cause of
could
the
they
deer?
couldn't get around the deer. I don't think.
Honestly,
No, they could have. They easily could have. They stopped for
like
the deer.
if I ever see a deer get hit
You're
and
eating it.
I'm close by and it died, I'm gonna go home and grab my truck. I'm gonna call up some buddies and we're gonna throw that in the back of my truck and we're gonna gut a deer.
It's wasted meat.
What?
It's not very good meat. It's all bruised.
There's some meat in there that's gonna be salvageable.
Maybe,
You
but
can just turn it into jerky.
With my smoker.
yeah.
Yeah, just. fry that
I'm sure there's
sucker up.
several laws against that.
I felt bad for that.
No, because I mean, technically.
I think
you're
there's